Good morning, Big Brother Hometown's Viewing Lounge. I am CLC, and we are here for another edition of Morning Tea with CLC, where we spill all the tea on BBH15. I look a little disheveled right now, and that's fine. I've been spending the last 20 minutes trying to teach my mom what Spotify is and why she should not buy Adele's album 30, and she should just stream it. So I'm a little kerfuffled this morning. But let's get into all the tea on day 13, where production, we manifested it, we did it, we did it. Ian is our head of household. I'm so excited. We'll get all into it. Let's bring in the person who got in here last. Why not? Let's go backwards. It's Max Teddy.
Hey, what's up? Hold on, I'm changing my name real quick. One moment. I was not prepared. Okay, cool. All right, so Ian, so proud of you. If anybody is thinking about ignoring anybody in a social strategy game, let this be your lesson that you cannot assume that somebody will not win power. It's amazing to me how some people will just dismiss somebody and they're like, oh, they're never going to win power. They totally could. We have competitions that span all ability levels, all skill sets. It's incredible to me. So good job, Ian.
Yes. Let's bring him in. He's annoyed. I'm not sure why. I'm pretty ecstatic, but it's Mitchell Stokes.
And I'm not annoyed at Ian, firstly. I'm like the smallest little bit annoyed at this nom set, but like I'm not going to drag him for that because he doesn't deserve that. He doesn't know any better. But I'm more annoyed at all these people who, like Max said, just completely just disregard half the house, and now they have their panties in a wad. And the minute that something hasn't gone their way, they're freaking the fuck out. They're stressed. They're trying to figure out how to get around. And it's like, the game has gone perfectly for you this entire game so far. Take a second, chill pill. It's not the end of the world. Calm down, please and thank you.
Like, ownership is no longer a factor then, because ownership just meant you had access to it on demand. So if you do the premium services with these other folks, then is it that a newfangled version of ownership?
So, but you don't own, because I have the premium Spotify, I own the right to play that song 24/7, offline or online, but I don't own it. It's not like a CD. Like if Spotify goes under, I no longer have access to that album.
Yeah, I thought about that, but and lots of things have gone under that we never predicted would go under. That's the risk you take. Right. But with Apple,
Hey, Crystal.
Hi. I'm here with Schadenfreude. And for those who don't know, that's taking pleasure in the troubles of others. And I'm eating healthy today. And Carl's like giving me some extra I wasn't expecting. So
I know.
I was just gonna say, like, it's not even the game. Like, Carl's really serving for us this morning.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Oh my gosh. Well, how's everybody doing while we wait?
I'm doing great.
Chat, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing awesome. I have my ice mocha from this really cool Swedish restaurant in West Palm Beach called Johan's Joe. It's very good.
Crystal, how are you? I feel like have you been on tea this season yet?
Max or me?
Crystal.
Yeah, last week.
Oh, last week. Okay.
Yeah, last Saturday.
Depending on my
Crystal and Jabbar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw that one. Depending on my work schedule, I sometimes don't get the chance to like catch back up on them.
That was a fun one.
What's the best way to keep up, honestly?
Carl looks ready to end himself. This might be his 13th reason.
19th, 20th, 21st.
I love that this is happening at 10:42 in the morning or 9:42 in the morning for him. Like, that's hilarious. Should we just start like without Carl? Should we just go? Okay, so let's start with the build up to the HOH competition. No one to my knowledge, is submitting scores, or very few people are submitting scores. And so that is a reflection of the level of comfort that this entire house feels. They're already looking 2 like days ahead to live night. They're like, I want to win. I want to save my HOH for live night because I want to do something big or whatever. And it's like, well, first you have to get there. And so
I think there's a lot of fear surrounding live night because like typically you can pull off a big move that maybe you wouldn't be able to do in the span of a 2 or 3 day cycle. Or there's just like a lot of fear of like, I want to be safe, and like winning HOH or power of veto is the way to remain safe at that live night. So I think a lot of people are looking towards that as like, I think the desire for safety is more so what people are like after. I don't like, the only person who really has said anything about wanting to pull a big move at live night is Lee, and he wants to take Angelica out. But like, yeah, Max, you're right. Like, it's just odd that all these people are like, I don't really want to win. And when nobody wants to win, you open yourself up to somebody that you have been disregarding the whole game.
I mean, Ian probably would have won anyway because he just absolutely ate. But
yeah,
it's the same idea. Like, if you're like so comfortable, then you have to accept the consequences of whatever happens, you know?
Also, like, look around you. If all of your buddies are all saying they're comfortable and they would like to win live night, like, somebody's gonna win this one, guys. You got to get past this one.
Exactly. Yeah.
Everybody was like, oh, maybe this is where we can take Ian out.
Yeah.
It's so funny to me. Everyone all day did not care about this cup jump HOH and was already looking to live night. It was so funny. Like, it just, it was all day. People were like, yeah, Ian can be an easy boot here. Then let's make a big move at live night. As we're sitting here like y'all haven't made it to live night. Like, the fuck? These people. I'm jumping too far ahead, but like, this is how like deluded these people are. The fact that we announce Ian wins and we hop on a call with Angelica and Lee, and they're already like, so who we dropping here? So who are we gonna take out here? You're not in power.
I know.
Like, like, these people think that Ian and Anna and Tay and Davey and Jess are just so fucking stupid and trash at everything regarding orgs that they can just control everything. Like, we announce Ian as the victory, which everyone universally agrees is probably the house's worst case scenario, minus a few people. And they're like, so who are we going to drop? How are we going to control Ian here?
It's so funny too, like, coming from like Lee being part of the conversation where he legitimately knows for a fact that Ian was in a conversation talking about backdooring Lee. So like, how do you feel like you have any sort of control over this? Like, when you literally know that he's talked about backdooring you, that's just so crazy to me that you would be so bold as to assume that you're going to be able to control this nom set.
I mean, he still tried, and it feels like they're still going to get what they want, which is annoying.
Right.
When you're in this bubble of like playing your game and I'm in control, like, it's just kind of a natural continuation of that, I think. And it could also be a little bit of like denial, like we're just gonna like will it into existence just because we say it and see if it works.
I mean, you never. I mean, the fun thing about last night was that like nobody had any idea what Ian was gonna do. Literally, 85% of the house was shitting their pants. Like, in there, like Blake, Tay, Tommy, Lee, Dan, Angelica in their prod chat being like, oh, this is not good. Danny.
And the best part was that Ian was at dinner, so he wasn't talking to anybody. And everybody's like, have you talked to Ian? Have you talked to Ian? No. And then he just
lying, like, maybe he's probably not even at dinner. Like, what?
He's talking to other people.
And then
he gets back.
And then he goes and he just says thanks to everybody. And it makes everybody think that, oh my God, he hates me.
and then the conversation turns to everyone going like, did he? And then it like, because he slowly was doing like the rolling thank yous. So like Lee would get a thank you, then Lee's talking to Dan, and he's like, "Did you get a thank you?" Dan's like, "No," and it's like, "Oh God, Dan's the nomination." Like everyone's like, and it's like, "What did you get?" "I got a thank you." "Oh, I just got a thanks." "Oh no!" Like it was boiling down to semantics. It was so funny.
Angelica, he got to her later in the rollover because like on every call she was like, "I haven't got nothing. I haven't gotten anything yet. Nothing, not at all." Like I said this, he didn't say anything. Angelica was giving me life last night outside of the like, the control aspect. She was just doing some real fun conversations last night that I enjoyed.
Yeah, no, she continues to be a star. Like, don't get me wrong. When I say like when I come on here and talk about how annoyed I am at Angelica and Dan and Lee and like they're all serving, and I'm not mad, and I'm not mad at the strategy necessarily. I'm just annoyed at all these people who like have gotten their way the entire game because A, that's boring, and B, like I want somebody who wins this game to have to face a little bit of adversity along the way. And like this is like the smallest hair of adversity that they're having to face with Ian and him being truly a wild card who could do anything in a sea of 16 other people that he has to nominate, and they're crumbling and they're like losing their goddamn minds. And they're like, this is the worst thing I've ever had to go through. It's like, chill out. Calm down. Like
they're also so quick to turn on like their alliance members. It's like, well, like which ants are we going to cut? What? There's like 20 people in the house. There's like 6 of you. You really think you have to cut it in now? Probably not. Even if one goes up, you're still probably going to be able to swing whatever.
Well, and like I know that Tommy ultimately ends up being a nom here, but I actually think he was playing it he didn't play it badly in terms of like in the time that Ian was nominated as HOH. He played it horribly, in the 10 days prior in not choosing to get in
that he hasn't played.
Right. And not choosing to get to know. Right. Like, but like in terms of like sitting on his hands and being like, you know what? I already realized that I've kind of fucked up and not like gotten to know Ian. Maybe I can just hope that like this round will pass me by. And I really do think that's the correct strategy. I don't like what Lee did. Lee, who knows that he's a potential target for Ian and gets on there and tries to bullshit him and tries to like lie and gets caught in several lies being told. Like that's not smart gameplay. Tommy does end up being the nom, but like I thought it was smart to just kind of be like, you know what? Let me send him a message and say, hey, I hope you're keeping me safe. And then I'm just going to chill and hope that he has a bigger fish to fry. And I think that's the smart thing to do in a situation where you've kind of disregarded a relationship for 10 days. But ultimately, like, we know that that's not typically going to go well. But, like, I think it's worse to get on there and make your position with somebody worse by lying or feeding them a bunch of bullshit. And now you want to talk game with me because I'm the HOH? Like, exactly. Like these things that you've said over the past are not lining up. And I wonder, should we go through today and the veto is won and used, like what amount does that conversation that Lee and Ian had last night factor into his decision today? If he has to make a renomination, I'm very curious.
And Tommy all day, Tommy's been a little like laying low all day yesterday, like afternoon on when he got off work, he was on the phone with people all day, putting in work, and literally every call I listened to, he's like, well, I mean, I haven't really talked to Ian, but I mean, I guess I'm not going, like, that's probably a problem if I haven't talked to Ian. Like, he actively knew the hole in his game and actively refused to go attempt to do anything about it before it was too late. And he had ample opportunity before Ian ever came into power and anybody knew, even if they didn't get on a call, to at least reach out and say, hey, I know you're really busy. I'd really love to get on a call and talk with you. But he just refused. He just wasn't having it. And here he is.
Yeah, like I will give slack to, the Blake HOH, followed by the Lee and Amanda co-HOHs. Like, there were people who didn't get to call with them. I get it. Like, we merged them on day 3. Blake had to nominate on day 4. I mean, hell, Lee and Amanda were nominating on day 7. Like, sure, I get it. We are on day 13. There are no more fucking excuses. You've been in this house for 10 days. There are only now 16 other people other than yourself. that is less than 2 people a day. I just don't have time for excuses. And Tommy's openly admitting he hasn't done a call with him. I'm like, this is all on you. This is all on you. At this rate, you just have to call 2 people a day, and you would have called everyone once. But you prioritize everyone else over him, and now you pay the price for it. So it sucks, and I think, I mean, Adam says it best. I mean, they're gonna disregard Ian after this. Like they're not gonna see the error in their ways. They just don't. Like they're already talking about how to boot him at live night because they see this obstacle. They see this obstacle as like, oh, this is just a one-time thing, and then we can boot him and get done with it and never have to deal with this again, rather than a learning experience. Learn from, in the words of Tyra Banks, learn something from this. Like, stop disregarding these players. Like, everyone thinks he's a Lance, and he's not. Ian knows how to play this game. He knows how to play. Everyone just thought that that he's some Lance and will just do whatever, and you can lie to him and get away with it. Ian is clocking all these fuckers. He's on call with Lee and being like, and he's typing in his project like, oh, he's lying to me. I caught him in this lie. He told me this yesterday, and now he's telling me this today. He's a fucking liar, sus as hell. Ian's not dumb, and it's not Ian's fault. Like, I don't love this nomination set, and we'll get into it as we move throughout the day. But ultimately, Ian's not going to be the person to take the first shot. Had Danny taken a bigger shot in her HOH, Ian would take the big shot now. But everyone's waiting for who's going to cast the first brick. Who's going to cast the first stone in this game? It sure as hell ain't going to be Ian. Ian's never won power. Ian doesn't, like, Ian's trying to learn what the fuck he, like, wants to do. Like, he was just lied to, ghosted, thrown aside on day 12 for the Erica eviction. Now he's in power for the first time in his org career. Like, I'm not expecting him to take a big shot because no one else has.
Well, and how is he supposed to know? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like literally, as we just said, like, nobody has given him an inch. The only person who's given him anything is Ashton, and even that is tenuous at best. But AJ, I agree with you that AJ has picked him up, but what has AJ said to him that is like valid game information? Like,
that's fair.
The problem is that, like, and truly, like, the biggest issue that I'm seeing in terms of Ian and Ashton's game right now, just coming in from season 1 and not really having been a part of the community, they don't know the way that these games are connected, that these people are all connected. And like, Ashton will tell Mitchell things that she probably shouldn't. She will tell Angelica things about Lee or about Dan, you know, and they don't know about these relationships. And like, AJ knows these relationships. Someone needs to sit Ian and Ashton down and be like, hey, listen, like, these people all played together. These people are friends because they played this game together. All of these people have relationships. And like, the problem is that, like, I can't fault Ian for a bad nom set when he doesn't know any information because nobody has told him. And because, you know what I mean? Yeah, go ahead, Crystal, please.
I was about to say, and Carl and I talked about this a little bit earlier, one of the problems is Ian on a call. If he is not interested, he is a freaking brick wall. Like,
yeah,
no one's going to give him information if he's not open. If he's not giving openness, people are not going to be open it like back to him. If like he's giving a wall, he's going to get a wall, and that's on him. People would have loved to have been like people would have loved to have picked the non-people, like, you know, the non-connected people, and brought them in. Like, we have a lot of players who really love that move for their game, but it's like, gets on a call with Ashton, lights up. Gets on a call with Lee last night.
Yeah. And I think an issue for Ian was who he chose to call last night. I think it was great that he called his top allies in Anna and in AJ, and he really likes Hammond. And he's trying to get there with Tay because Anna really has been suggesting, like, Tay is good, like, call Tay. But the only, like, non-ally that he calls is Lee, and that call obviously does not go well at all on both sides. But yeah, like, he needs to be a better job about calling the people he's not with, because he obviously doesn't know it, but like, these people are trying to boot him at live night. They're scared and worried about him, and they don't want to ever have to deal with this man again. And they think it's a perfect and opportune time to yeet him out of this game. So I wish he'd get on call with people like Danny, like Angelica, like Dan, like Carly, people who wouldn't necessarily want to see him go. Like, really, the only initiative to take Ian out is Lee Farrell. Like, the only person who legitimately wants this man out is Lee Farrell. And will Lee push and push and push to get his initiative? Absolutely. Because we're going back to we're going back to the old Lee. Like, these last 3 days leading up to today, like, ring, ring, ring. Oh, the old Lee can't come to the phone because he's dead. I was like, oh my God, he is learning. He is becoming a new Lee. And now it is ring, ring, ring. Sorry, the old Lee can't come to the phone because he's spiraling over there about what Ian may or may not do to him for this round of 17. Despite him going to be on the block next to Tommy or Davey, who the whole house wants gone.
Yeah.
Like, bruh, calm down.
The smallest crumb of adversity sends Lee spiraling back. Like, and like the call that he had with Ian was like, it was infuriating to listen to because everything that came out of Lee's mouth was just bullshit. And I get it. That's the game. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at it. It's just frustrating because you're like, all right, Ian, why are you on this call with Lee? Like, and I was so thankful that he was saying, like, I think Lee is lying to me. I'm so thankful for that. But, like, why are you on this call with this man who you know has been feeding you horse shit for the last 3 days? And, like, actually for the last 13 days? Like, why are you giving this man the time of day? Like,
he might have not even been on the call. Ian on the call.
Oh my God, yeah.
Which was so funny, though.
Lee did more damage being on said call. Lee should have avoided a call with that man at all fucking costs. Because if you've not watched Lee's confessional, I recommend doing it because it is the beginning of a tornado that will come and ultimately probably send him out pre-jury. He trusted Ian. He trusted Ian coming into this vote. When he heard Ian won HOH, he's like, well, this isn't great. Not for me, but for my allies. Like, he felt fine with Ian. Then he hopped on that call. And Ian could just not hide. Like, Ian was doing such a great job hiding how much he did not trust Lee by just keeping it via text. Mm-hmm. Like, Lee trusted Ian a lot. He's like, great. Ian's not after me. I'm using Ian. Ian has no idea that I'm using him. When Ian damn well knew. Ian already fucking knew. Ian been knew. So Ian hopped on that call, and I fuck it. I didn't even care about the other shit we're going to talk about. I love this call. This call is
it was so good.
Like, hold on, where are my notes on this? It is so good. So immediately, Lee calls and he apologizes for flipping his vote to be in the majority, and which immediately goes up against everything Ian, or what he told Ian yesterday on day 12. And a lot of people did this.
Yeah,
but the fact that Lee did it to him.
I'm sorry that this vote didn't go our way, the way that we wanted it to. Lee, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
He does that all the time. He does that all the time.
Like, he literally...
The we of it all.
Yeah, literally. And then Ian is feisty, y'all. Like, I would not have expected this from Ian because we have not seen Ian in a power position for where he's able to, like, fight back. But Lee was like, yeah, the vote didn't go our way. And he's like, well, why did you flip your vote then? Like, he's like, there are many people like you who were saying that they wanted the vote to go her way, yet you chose to flip. And he goes, well, I just feel like it was majority. He's like, you didn't tell me that. He's like, you told me you told me you voted to save Erica at this time, and now you're saying you flipped the vote. Like, you flipped your vote, but you didn't let me know that. He's like, I respect honesty and being upfront with me. He's like, he's like, my issue is not with the fact that you voted Erica out. He's like, I've got no issue with that. Trust me, there are people who voted me out. There are people who put me on the fucking block. I'm not putting them up. He's like, I'm not putting up Blake because he nominated me. I'm not putting up Jess because she voted to evict me. I'm putting up the people who have been fake and lying to me and telling me they're going to do something and then do the opposite. So he's like, why did you do that? I was like, I'm like, damn. I'm like, Ian, not fucking around. And then Lee goes on. He's like, well, I felt like we were also left out of when I was co-HOH and I wanted Jess to leave. And then all of a sudden the vote flips. He's like, I feel like I've been left out and someone's controlling the vote in my favor.
Oh, and the Marcello.
The Marcello vote. And Lee's like, I feel like there's someone who keeps, flipping the vote. And I don't know who keeps flipping it. He's like, Erica should have stayed and it flips. Jason should have stayed and it flips. Marcello should have stayed and it flips. And then Ian literally retorts back and going, then who's flipping the vote then? Who's behind it?
Who do you think is doing that?
Like, it's that Pikachu meme where he's like, stone cold. That shit went silent for 25 seconds. I don't think Lee was expecting Ian to be like, then who is it?
Yeah. Who do you think it is? Like, and then once he finally composes himself and he gives a 10-minute rambling answer of like nothing, of actual horseshit, and does not answer. It does not say a single name. Does not give a single question. Like, answer the question in the slightest regard. And then Ian's just like, okay.
It is the Miss Teen America answer. Like when she's asked, like 80% of Americans can't identify like Iraq on a map, and she goes, such as Americans, such as maps, such like. He's startled and has no clue what to say to this man because he's realizing that he has underestimated how smart this man is, and he's like, I've caught you, bro. I've caught you. And me and Crystal, we're gonna reenact this, like, because this call, like, so
I hate that I missed the call. Please reenact.
Oh my god! on top. So I'm gonna be Lee. And Crystal's gonna be Ian. And so on top of Lee just spewing shit, like, so like I feel like people are like just like saying things and like doing stuff, and I don't know, but like I think people are flipping the vote. Oh my goodness, yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like I'm being left out. Ian is not paying a lick of fucking attention. He's not looking him in the eyes. This man is on the phone texting other people, his prod chat, Ashton, AJ. He is texting everyone under the fucking sun. And Lee is just spilling horse shit, and Ian just does not care. Literally, Ian could just be like this the entire time. Ian has nothing. He was like, who is flipping the vote? And Lee's like, and then as soon as he started panicking, Ian's like, I'm done with this conversation. Like, literally, don't care.
It was so great because I was sitting there, I was listening to the call, and I was like, when Lee kept saying this, I was literally like, God, I wish I could just like whisper into Ian's ear, like, well, then who's doing it? And then he like said it, and I threw my computer. I was like, ah! I was like, oh my God.
Why this doesn't happen, ultimately, Ian gets on a call with Ashton before he calls Lee, where they kind of walk down who they like, who they don't like. Ultimately, Ian's choices are pretty much Davey, Jess, Carly, Lee, and I think that's it. I'm trying to
Tommy.
And Tommy. And that's the other one. Ultimately, Ashton and Ian agree that if they're going to put up Lee, it cannot be through the front door. It's got to be through the back door. This man's won 4 competitions already, and they're not trying to risk a 5th. So that's why Lee doesn't see the block right now. But as we've alluded to, I think if Tommy or Davey is to be removed with the veto, I think it's highly likely we see Lee Farrell up on the block.
Which would which I don't know if it's a good move because I don't think Lee will leave.
Yeah. No.
Like I don't, and like unless people are like finally ready to just like cut bait with him.
If
and like maybe
snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, though, it is Lee Farrell. So
that's true. Yeah, like he could really truly ruin it for himself in a spiral if he does get nominated.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very curious what would happen in that situation because I do think Lee right now, if I had to guess, I think Lee would stay against Tommy or Davey, and then he will be unhinged. However, the story, like the producer, the story side of me is like, how incredible is this for Ian's story? Like he's first boot of the first season. He comes back. He's on the block the first 2 games. He wiggles his way through. He finally rises to power, and he said, I'm gonna take my shot. Like no matter if it ends up well for him or not, he's gonna take his shot. And I love that. Like he's here. If he does that, go through with that move, he's here to play, and he's here to make big moves when he has the opportunity to do so. And I think, like, honestly, like if you watch season 1, that is a theme of season 1 of like that those people who played season 1, they made moves every single round. The first 4 rounds of the game were backdoors, like in season 1, like they like. Ashton has said it several times. Her brother and her sister ultimately are part of the reason that she goes home. I think it's more complex than that. And there's also a lot of things that she did to contribute to that. But, she's voted out by her family members. Like, there's just, like, season 1, I'm just going to say it again. It's so good. Go watch it on YouTube. It's so fantastic. Like, those people know how to play this game. And I think people are silly for thinking that just because they played season 1 and haven't played a game since, that they have no idea what the hell is going on. I think that's really silly.
To devil's advocate that a little bit though, Ian was on a call, I believe, with Mitchell last night, and he's like, I think it's time. I think we should like get an alliance going. And I was just like, I died a little bit inside because I'm just like, baby. What?
He's not perfect. And he was the first boot of that season. Okay, no, so let me he was the first boot of that season, mind you. Secondly, though, I was just saying, like, I think in general, season 1 is marked by explosive and big moves and big gameplay. And I think he watched that and he saw it. He was very involved. His wife was in the final 2. So he lived that experience through her. I think he knows what he needs to do. I agree with you. Let's get in a fucking alliance. Like
I'm optimistic, but I'm, also realistic about his chances after coming off of this HOH, no matter what he does. And if he was really going to make a big move, like Tommy and Davey are not the people. And I mean, I said in my own season, and I'm not going to slander this person, but y'all know who I'm talking about. There was someone in my season who had a real lying problem. And other people were like, yeah, but they lie all the time. I'm like, yes, but we know they lie all the time. Work with that. I know. And like, they all know Davey lies all the time. Just lean into it and use it. Like, he lies all the time. Fine. Someone else can be mad at him. I don't need to like worry about him right now. Like, I know I can't trust him and he lies to everybody. Cool. Not a problem. And Tommy just seems very much on the outs, but like, you've said before, Ian, unfortunately, doesn't have enough inroad to know kind of where everything is really laying. So that's kind of a shortcoming on his part. But I mean, a big move was like, the trio of Dan, Angelica, and Lee, and like nominating 2 and renominating the other one. Like, that's the big move right now. And unfortunately, he doesn't have enough of the pieces put together. But the way the house would scatter like a bunch of cockroaches when you flip the light on, if that trifecta of people, some combination of them, saw the block and everybody had to really, really show where they're at. Like, I love them all, but wow.
Yeah. No, I do wish that like to that point, that this is one of those moments where I wish that Ian had more game experience, because we could have potentially been in a situation like last season where AJ goes, okay, everybody's throwing Davey under the bus to me, so Davey is safe. Like, right. And like, I think if Ian had more game context and more game like experience, that he definitely should have picked up on that. Like, and he should have, like, he could have been like, well, why is Lee trying to throw Davey under the bus here? Like,
right.
Who's he trying to protect?
Why is somebody I'm against and my allies trying to throw this person? Like, this person's like, Davey's dead in the water. Let's all just give it a warm hug and not pretend. He's dead in the water, when wherever he goes out. And it's like, you're going to waste everybody's got to go. Like, you hear me say, it's like, everyone's got it. But like, if you're not, you get rid of Davey when you're like these majority players and you're just like, oh, I'm just like removing at this point kind of fodder, just waiting to go out. When you're like an underling, you need to do what AJ did like AJ is like AJ and Danny, I can't remember who they nominated, but they both did stuff that like rocked the house. That was like, no, you all want that person up? Well, then you can put him up. I want these people up.
Exactly. And I mean, let's get to it. We're talking a lot about Davey here. Let's get to it. I'm running late for work because a bus can't pick me up because everyone else is too busy asking the buses to back over Davey. I worry for his medical bill. I hope he has great insurance, because this man gets thrown to the wolves every call that is like the Lee throws Davey under. When Ian calls all of his allies, he calls all of his allies to be like, hey, who should we trust and who do we not trust? Calls Anna. Anna says, trust Tay. Fuck Davey, basically. Gets on a call with Mitchell, who's like, I don't trust Davey or Tommy. Like, they're slimy. Gets on a call with Ashton, and Ashton's like, hey, do not touch Blake. Do not touch Blake. And Ian's super receptive to it, and she goes, fuck Tommy and Davey. Quite literally, everyone he calls throws Davey and Tommy right under, but specifically Davey for, as we've talked about, being wishy-washy on these votes. Like, you in Big Brother, it makes no sense. Like, we are not a game that has a bunch of twists. We are not Instinct. We are not. I mean, I don't even say Padlock has that many twists. Like, we are a very traditional Big Brother game. And when there's an advantage in the game, everyone knows that there's an advantage in the game.
Mm-hmm.
There is not one. There isn't one. So there makes no sense to lie about your vote to this. And it got around about Davey and Tommy both promising their votes to Erica and not doing it. And it really pissed Ian off. Ian's like, that's boring and trash gameplay, and I'm not here for it. We also haven't connected, so that also helps. But guess what? Justice for Erica, as we should. Hashtag justice for Erica. So pretty much everyone throws Tommy and Davey under, and that's why they end up being the nominations here at the end of the day.
Yeah. And Davey was not happy about it. He was at a party.
He was so bothered. Like, what did you think was going to happen?
Yeah. Would anybody be interested in participating in a dramatic reading of Davey and Ian's text chat?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I'll play either role. I don't care.
Hold on, let me pull it up here.
I'm pulling it up.
Okay, alrighty.
I got it.
Yeah. Where are we starting? Let's see.
I think
start at do you want to you want to play the role of Ian and I'll play the role of Davey?
I can, yeah.
Okay. Start at the top where he says he's gonna be a nom.
He's a nomination, like, hey, I won't let you know.
Okay. Here we go. Hey, I just wanted to let you know that you're gonna be one of the noms tonight. I really like you and enjoy you as a person. I just feel like we've been on the opposite side of everything game-wise in the house so far. I'm really sorry.
I don't agree with this necessarily. I feel more blindsided because I thought you really wanted to have a game relationship with me, but I should have known better. I understand, though. You got to do what you got to do.
I did want to have a game relationship, but then I learned you voted to evict Erica, even though you had promised you were voting the other way, and you weren't open or honest about it with me. You also were the only one of the 4 people who voted to evict me that didn't tell me that was the way you were voting.
I apologize for contributing to 4 votes that tried to evict you, but Ian, you more than anyone should know that the game changes on a dime. Jason was going to stay, and then in the last 20 minutes, everyone switched their vote to him. I said I wanted to keep Erica, and I did. Then again, the vote reflected that last 20 minutes, and it was 12-3. I voted in the minority once, and I wasn't going to do it again. Also, not for nothing, do you really think I'm a threat to your game?
It's not that you voted to evict me. It's that you didn't tell me you did, unlike the others that voted to evict me. With the Erica vote, it's the matter of being told one thing and then it not being true. Instead of just saying you weren't sure, at least being upfront that you were switching your vote.
I can be upfront. That can change. I just want to know if this game relationship can be amended, or am I the target here?
I don't have a target. And scene.
Ian is so good. Ian is not going to take any shit from these people. Like, Davey was pissed. Davey got caught. And Davey ain't fucking around. Like,
Alexa,
and Davey's like, play clap back. Like, and Davey's feisty. Like, I'd be scared to go up in a fight against Davey. And Ian said, bring it on.
Honestly, this is a repeat. Like, I'm feeling so much deja vu from when I nominated Davey in the Hive. This is like the exact same conversation that happened. Like, Davey had not talked to me for 2 weeks. And like, I think he was just banking on the fact that we knew each other from the Big Brother Hometowns world. And like, I had good relationships with everybody else. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, I have to put him up. And he was like very like blindsided and surprised by it. And I'm like, I'm not like I'm targeting you necessarily, but you can't be surprised by this nomination. Like, you know, you got to have a little bit more self-awareness. Like, it's the fact that Davey said that I feel like I thought you wanted to have a game relationship, but then I scrolled back through their chat just to see what it looked like, and they had barely talked that week at all. Like,
I mean, that's Davey with everyone, though.
Yeah, it doesn't take me long to scroll to the top of their chat at all. I'm like, you can't say that you have want to have a game relationship with that.
Honestly, I'm not even sure if he's gotten a call with half of the cast.
I don't think so. Yeah, I'm not really sure what he's doing. I know he's busy. He's been out like living a social life, and I don't have any issue with that. Like, but then I don't feel like you're allowed to question the outcome. Like Dan, like for example, when Ian won HOH, Dan posted in his prod chat, like, oh, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions. And I was like, Dan, what the fuck does that mean? Like, nothing has happened to you yet. Like, Ian won, like, he's in your bunker. Like, you should be feeling very safe right now. Like, what do you mean the consequence of your own actions? This is a situation where Davey should be saying, oh, yeah, if this isn't the consequences of my own actions and not being an active player and not getting on calls and not making relationships with people, like, and now here it's coming to bite me in the ass. Like, and like, you know, like, I love Davey. He's great. This is exactly how he played in season 11. And like, there is very little redemption for his second chance story going on at this current point in time.
Yeah, like there's a lot of luck involved in Big Brother in terms of who wins what. Like Crystal got lucky at the beginning of Thursday Night. You were ever in trouble, Crystal, but the right people won where you were like, great, I get to keep masterminding the game I want to play. And I don't have to worry because the people who I like are winning. So great.
Can I also say, I was always worried all the time. Like
you were.
Like, Christian would win HOH. I'd be like, cool. And he'd be like, I'm putting you up. I was like, oh, all right. He's like, I'm fucking with you. I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm going to be ready for the day you decide to put me up. I'm not going to be blindsided by
it. like Davey has had immense luck in this game so far. He has been one of the most inactive people, if not the most inactive person on the cast that made the merge.
Yeah, because Bunker 3 are the comp beasts of the season.
Yeah, Blake wins the first HOH. Blake's not targeting Davey because he wanted to actually mend a relationship with Davey after what happened in BBH11 #Christmas cards.
Yeah.
And then Bunker 3 then wins the co-HOH, and then Bunker 3 wins again the following HOH. And now finally someone who's not connected to Davey either from BBH11 or through his bunker wins had a household. And guess what? He's rightfully on the block.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, that's the thing too. Like Tommy is a victim of this, not a victim, but like is in the same boat here, where like you've been so lucky this whole game that like your friends and your bunker keep winning, and now like, and then like, and I think Tommy. The thing I'll say about Tommy is I think Tommy was annoyed, but like he wasn't upset because he literally said in his prod chat he's like, how dare he do this to me when I would have done it to him first? like, you know, like I think Tommy recognizes that he fucked this up. Like, whereas Davey's like, I didn't do anything wrong. And it's like, okay. Like,
yeah.
I appreciate a player that's just like, oh man. And I had a conversation with somebody who's playing this season and they were like, yeah. And I was like, honestly, I always took it like, if I'm on the block, I did something wrong. Like, I didn't do something right. I didn't cross some T or dots on mine. Here I am, and that's on me for some reason somehow. So
yeah,
just like own it and do your best and
like
try to survive. Focus on surviving now. You're already nominated. You can't like get over it.
Yeah, no, and like if Tommy or Davey had truly tried to connect with Ian and he kept blocking them, like, you know, like that'd be a different conversation. Like, because that happened to me in a game. I was playing a game. I kept messaging this person over and over and over again, and I would get nothing in return. The person won HOH, puts me on the block, and I read that ass to filth because I was like, how dare you put me up on the block after I have tried to connect with you? This is not what's happening here. Like, Davey and Tommy have not tried with Ian at all. They're just desserts, and they deserve that seat in the nomination chair, even though we wish it would have been something different. Like,
absolutely.
From Ian's perspective, this makes a lot of sense. And like the thing that is, I'm again, I can't fault the good gameplay, but I'm annoyed by it. Is that like Anna, Ian, and Ashton and Blake are all playing for other people right now. They're playing for the Lions, and the Lions are doing a great job of controlling everybody else in this house to get what they want and to have people that are doing the thing. Anna is like working for, you know, she's like, don't put this person up. We want to get the easy target out in Davey, when that is really bad for Anna, because Anna, you're going to be the easy target in a week or two. Like, if we don't shake things up here, all of those people are going to just go one by one, and we're going to be sitting in the jury with the 6 Lions plus like one or two or three other people.
Exactly. Like, it's round what, 5 now?
Yeah,
5. It's round 5. If the whole house is agreeing that these should be the house targets, those are the people you don't put on the block. I mean, that's just a word to the wise of anyone who plays orgs.
You want them
like moving forward.
Yeah.
And that's why Ian and AJ did so well, or Ian and AJ. It's what AJ and Danny did so well in BBH14 when they won heads of households in rounds 3 and 4. The whole house was like, hey, put up these people. And they're like, oh, awesome. You want lands to go up? Great. I'm going to pick up lands because clearly nobody else wants them. Great. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. And obviously Ian does not have the org experience to realize like the proper strategy here is to be like, oh, everyone wants Tommy and Davey up. Great. Let me go tell them that the entire house wants them up and being like, I'm not going to do that. Let's build a bridge here. And put up other people you don't trust. Cough, cough, Lee. Cough, cough, Carly. Cough, cough. I wouldn't even say Jess, but like cough, cough, Jess.
And what would a Jess nomination get him? Honestly?
Nothing. But again, had he suggested a Jess name and seen how many people would have rallied behind that, also would have clued him in like, oh, we're not putting up Jess either. Because ultimately, he's down to those 5 people of Jess, Carly, Tommy, Lee, and Davey. Ultimately feels like he can't put up Jess and Carly because they're from his own bunker and he doesn't want to burn that relationship. So he ends up on Davey and Tommy because he thinks Lee could win the veto. So I'm intrigued to see what happens today with this veto because I think we have fooled everybody now to thinking that it's not OTEV, which thank God.
How the fuck do out of all the lexicon of competitions do these people fucking know that we're doing OTEV tonight? Like, it's so annoying. Shut the fuck up and stop trying to game everything. Like, Dan and Lee really pissed me off the other night, and I'm gonna read them to Phil on air right now. Like, they're sitting on call and they're like, so, like, we know that touchy subject is coming up. We should probably have a strategy to figure that out. Okay, Carl comes to the prod chat and goes, just so y'all know, like Lee and Dan are trying to game touchy subjects. And so I ran my happy ass right into that chat and I said, hi, I'm just here to let you know that you are not allowed to game competitions like touchy subjects. And they were like, like, sorry. Oh, I had no idea. Dan, shut the fuck up. Yes, you did. You were on production last season when we stopped people from gaming. Lee, you've been in the VL for 2 seasons where we've stopped people from gaming these competitions. Shut the fuck up. And and stop acting like you didn't know shit. Like you're trying to bend the rules and you're trying to get around it. And again, fine. But that's just it's annoying. And it's irritating because like Dan was on production. Lee hosts his own game. You know that it's annoying when people try to circumnavigate the rules of the game. You know that. Exactly. So why are you sitting in here doing that? It was annoying. And I was like, and then I stood on their call and babysat them and they immediately changed the subject because they knew that I wasn't going to leave. So, and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I was like, shut the fuck up. I'm done with y'all.
And I was willing to let it go because touchy subjects is not for another like 7 or 8 rounds. And honestly, now that I'm going to be there to play touchy subjects. So I was like, it's fine. Game all you want. You won't be there to play it.
Dan is gonna be there. Like I've come in.
Is this cast stupid? Is this cast dumb? That man get that far?
They are. Like this. Here's the thing. I said this. I came on here last week and I was all in a rage about Dan and what he was doing. And like again, similarly to Lee, Dan has calmed down. So good for him. He's not doing the most anymore, and he's playing a good game. And these people are dumb. They're letting him do the same exact shit that he did in season 11. They all have access to it. And honestly, the people I'm most annoyed at are Blake and Anthony and Lee and Davey, because y'all literally witnessed it firsthand, and he's doing the same fucking shit now, and y'all let him do it. So you know what? Just let Dan go to the end. Just let him go. Just let him go to the end. Let him win. Like, I'll be so happy for my friend Dan Alt Cool Dad that he won the game. And like, you know what? Like, let's just fast forward because yes, Carl, these people are dumb, and they're letting him do the same exact shit that he did before. So I'm over it.
I mean, he has like you should know based on the history of the game, but he has just that personality that just can come off real friendly and easy. And, you know, he's just like building this web of like, it's just me, Dan, cool dad, you know, just Dan, don't worry about it. And it's impressive. Like, good on him.
Yeah. No,
I mean, he said it himself, like they should have made him first boot. Like it's incredible.
This is like the Alex Day thing over again. Like
literally.
I'm still here.
No,
I think people are dumb.
No, it truly is that. And like, and that's why I'm not surprised that Dan has found himself in a position like this. And like, I mean, it happens. It's happening. I shouldn't say that, but there are other games that are currently going on where big names in the community have continued to make it further and further and further into the games because they're good players, and because people do not take the shot that they need to take early on, and then they let these people get their footing, and they let them continue on. And Dan is a great player, and he has found his footing. There was literally a call yesterday between Angelica and Anthony where they talk about, you know what? It's really okay that Dan is so good. It's really fine. Everything's okay.
They left that being like, if anyone wants to
have to
Dan,
protect
we can't
him.
let that happen. We can't let that happen. What are
Yeah.
y'all doing? Let this man go. Like,
I think they
the
feel
fuck?
like pro shields, and I also think they're not worried about each other either. But I'd be worried about it, you guys. Do you remember how the end of the, you know how the back end of that happened, and he almost just crushed everybody, but for like one competition?
Yeah, like it's so infuriating and frustrating, but whatever. Good on Dan. I'm happy for him that he's doing it.
Dan, I love you. Just so you know, like you've got me so bothered this whole season about it, but I love you, and you're playing really well. So let me, I'm maybe getting annoyed that people are letting you do all this, and you're getting away with all this fucking bullshit of like, oh,
that's who Mitchell is annoyed with, is everybody else.
My goal today is to incorrectly drop the word cultural reset in the chat. Dan, you have better fucking things to do than to lie about the word cultural reset.
No, because that's the thing. He doesn't have anything better to do because he's not under threat. Like, he's bored.
Lying about being a Taylor Swift fan to these people. Like,
and they're buying it. They're
eating it up.
Dumb.
Anthony is convinced Blake is into cryptocurrency. Like he's lying. He's lying about the stupidest shit because he's chilling. He is chilling. He's got nothing to worry about, and like he's real. And the thing is what's so infuriating is Dan knows it. Dan,
I know, and he's
I wish Dan was like paranoid a little bit, like for him to think like, oh, it could be me. He knows he's fucking safe. He knows he's in a good position, so he's over here just fucking around.
Yeah, he and that's the thing. Like, he's trying to be like, I'm always worried, or oh, isn't it the consequences of my own actions? Dan, shut the fuck down. Sit down and shut the fuck up.
Exactly,
like, you know you're doing. Fine. You know everything's okay. Calm down, please, please.
Like, it's clear that Dan's New Year's resolution for himself for 2021 was to lose weight, because this man is losing so much weight running fucking circles around this fucking cast. This man has clocked in 18 miles of just running around these people, and that's just today. Like, I'm not even counting the other fucking 12 days of this shit. It's okay. Moving on.
We're fine. Everything's fine. It's in the past. We're putting it behind us.
And Dan wins. He's an amazing winner.
Oh, amazing.
Give this man a challenge. I want a hurdle for him. Just one obstacle. Just one obstacle. God damn.
And that's why we were so high on him winning season 11, was because he did. He was on the block at Final 6. And like, we were like, oh, this is so great for his story. He had to overcome this. He had to save himself. He had to get that. You know what I mean? We were so high on it. So you know what? If it comes full circle and this is season 11 part 2 and Dan actually takes on the crown, then you know what?
Great. Awesome.
It's been well worth the wait, and it's been a fun journey. But somebody do something, please. Please stop believing this man and every fucking thing that he says.
Literally, like, everyone likes Dan. When people put it together that everyone likes Dan. Anyway, before we look forward to what happens today, I want to talk about a few more things. I would look forward to Ian, Anna, and AJ coming together as a 3. So that will be a merger of Chaos as a step stool and the comic relief. So when Erica gets evicted, those two groups will kind of come together to make a trio. I see Ian trying to bring in Ashton and Hammond into the fold, into that making the line. So be on the lookout for that. And then I got to get into just Angelica hating women. Angelica is so against Carly. And for what? Like, Carly has been accused of doing so much in this game. If you go watch The Edgic, she's under the radar as fuck because she's doing nothing. Like, to be completely frank, Carly is doing nothing. Half the time, she's not messaging anybody until like 8 p.m. Eastern because the girl's busy at work. She's not doing anything. But my God, Angelica is convinced that Carly is controlling Bunker 2. She's controlling Ian's nominations, that she's in a group with Tommy and Jess. But yet, she has so much confirmation bias because she's believing that she's influencing Ian's nominations. Ian then puts up Tommy. Is there even a thought in her mind like, oh, maybe Carly isn't controlling Ian's nominations because Tommy's on the block? No!
But also, Tommy and Carly aren't working together. She like tells everybody, like, those two are a pair. They're a pair.
Yeah, and she went around being like, Carly's controlling Ian's noms. Well, then if she was, then why is Tommy on the block then? So either your read about Carly and Tommy is wrong, or Carly's not influencing Ian's HOH, but she doesn't talk about that after there's clear evidence that disproves what she's thinking. She continues to get on calls and throw Carly under the bus. She's like, nope, that sign won't stop me because I can't read. Like, nope, Carly's running the game here. And it's not just Carly. It's also Danielle DeAngelis. This woman gets on every call and tries to throw Danny under the bus. She's like, every road leads back to Danny. What road? What road leads back to Danny? Please let me know, because all the roads lead back to you, Dan, and Lee.
Yeah.
Like, so Danny is consistently anything you say to AJ goes to Danny. Like,
yeah, anything you say to AJ goes to Danny.
Yeah.
Like, she is trying to ice out Danny, which means great gameplay. Let me preface this. Great gameplay, because people are eating that shit
right
up.
now. You'd be happier, Mitchell. There you go. But no, she's drinking the Dan Kool-Aid, so get it, Colt or Dan.
Great gameplay for Angelica, but yeah, she's playing into the hands of other people because, like, she has not talked about cutting Dan and when she's going to do that. And, like, to be completely frank, Angelica, you're not very good at competition. So how the fuck are you going to cut? How are you going to cut Dan? You need people to be able to like, and Danny wants to work with you for right now. And you know who's good at competitions? Danielle DeAngelis. And you know who's low on Danny's list? Dan Alt. Like, you're throwing away an ally who would actually get rid of Dan, who's going to crush you in the end game. Like, Angelica, what are you doing, baby? Like, it's so frustrating to see her that she's targeting Danny and Carly, who are people who could absolutely help her get rid of Dan, because she sure as hell can't do it. She can't. I'm sorry.
I mean, she got rid of Danny last season, so maybe she's still riding that high.
At Final Four, cutting it pretty close.
I know.
She didn't even do it. It was Erica. Erica was the vote to evict her. But, like, it's just frustrating.
I don't even remember.
Because Erica won the final. She won the Jeopardy veto. It's just like, I'm like, Angelica, like, great gameplay, but, like, wrong person, baby. Like, she's doing a great job of throwing Lee under too, but, like, she is keeping Dan in everyone's good graces. She has so much influence on this game, and I'm like, why are you not trying to sabotage Dan? Like, this is a perfect opportunity to do this and get some influence and really tarnish Dan's game here, because everyone talks to her about how much they love Dan. I'm like, girl, you know it. You have all the pieces. She has the entire jigsaw put together, and she's choosing to just not influence.
Is Dan Angelica's Robert of this game? Is that what's happening here?
It seems like it right now.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
It seems like Angelica's MO is to just kind of pick somebody to ride with. And it sounds like it's Dan for now.
I mean, and Dan had, going into this, like, he wanted to be that to Angelica. That was, like, one of his goals. So, you know, on Dan's checklist of stuff, check.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and Angelica is so interesting to me, because that's another person that I feel like the jury should be out on. Like, I feel like people should know, like, we talked about this so much in the preseason. Like, she just played one of we would put her on the top 10 list of people who best to never win. Like, she like, in some depending on who you ask, she deserved to win that game. You know, like, you know, it was all right. It's all right there in front of their faces. A lot of these people watched season 14. Like, how are we not seeing that she's doing the exact same thing again? It's crazy.
People don't change, and a lot of people just are choosing not to learn from history. So that's on them.
Yeah. So looking forward to today at 5:00 Eastern. We will be hosting OTAV. So be there or be square, because it's going to be a good old time with both Tommy and Davey fighting for their lives. Because honestly, I don't know who goes home on this vote. I would want to say that Davey would go home, but Angelica's on this get Tommy out of the fuck house. So Angelica's got a lot of influence. So she's able to convince people. Because, like, right now, if we went to go vote, I think Tommy would stay. But Angelica's waiting until those noms are official before she really starts this Tommy push here. So I don't know who goes home at all.
So are the only people that would use the veto Ian and the two nominees? Or would
I don't even know if Ian would.
I don't think Ian would even use it. I think Ian would just keep them.
So it's basically
just
up to the two nominees. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody else is
So-
too afraid, and they would keep it the same.
Well, okay.
Yeah, so
Who are the
I'm
players?
intrigued. The players are so Ian the HOH, Ian and Davey the nominees, and then Carly, Hammonds, and Anthony drawn by the veto wheel. Yeah, Anthony has no intent. Anthony has no need to use this. Carly, if Carly wins, it'll be intriguing. I think people will read into it a lot more than
People
what it
will be
is. But
expecting her to save Tommy, and honestly, she probably should. So
yeah, at this point, everyone's just pegging them together. But like, Jesus Christ,
Does
like
she
she's
even
not
know
going
that?
to.
I don't think
Hmm?
she knows that. Does she know in what a bad position she's in?
No,
I
because no
don't
one's telling her. No one's telling her. Like, because there are people like Lee, and I talked about it, I think like 2 days ago on T. Like Lee is just lying to Carly, and like he knows how much Angelica wants her out, and like he gets on a call with Carly, and Lee is her number one. Carly on her trust rankings is Lee is number one on that, and Lee is throwing again like bad reads galore, throwing away an ally. Like Angelica's doing it to her allies, Lee's doing it, throwing away allies who are actually good for you because you're so short-sighted on being with the certain people you want to be with that you're ignoring an ally who literally is like has built an amazing bridge for you to come and hang out with them, and you just are ignoring it, and it's bad choices. Like Carly's doing nothing wrong, not a goddamn thing wrong. Just people are assuming she's doing so much more than she is. She's not. She's doing a great job of laying low, which is what Carly wanted to do: lay low, not be in the spotlight, and people just keep shoving her in it. They're like, "Oh, you want to be out of the spotlight, bitch? Get back in there." Like it's unfortunate for Carly. I feel really bad for her.
Carly right now is like the person at the wedding who keeps getting pushed into the center of the dance circle and like physically does not want to be there, and everybody's just like not letting her get back into the circle. There's like, hey,
she wants to be the center of attention. I hate that.
yeah, Crystal.
Yeah, it's Carly robbed Queen, but hopefully she can continue to like get some lucky HOHs that are in her favor and won't take a shot at her. Because God, it is get Carly to jury challenge. Get Carly to jury challenge. I beg of you. It was Marcelo. He got his shit done. Now it is get Carly to jury challenge. But looking forward to today, we'll have OTEV, and then tonight from about like 9 to 10, we'll have our veto ceremony to see if we have a replacement nominee, and then we'll look forward to our eviction tomorrow and live night tomorrow.
Woo!
9 p.m. Eastern. Be there. It's going to be a blast. A lot of people pre-planning for what they want to do. So, I mean,
at least they're going with a plan.
Like people are coming in with a plan because they want to make a splash for their game, even if that splash is Ian. But whatever.
At the final 16, yay!
I guess a
splash,
ripple.
baby.
The beginning of a normal season. Let's go.
But like the one thing I also want to comment on is I'm thinking Davey and Tommy have forgotten that the HOH breaks a tie and that there are 14 voters in this because both of them are being very rude to Ian. Like we've talked about Davey picking a fight with Ian. Ian told Tommy, "Hey, I'm going to nominate you," and Tommy's like, "Hey, like, can you rechange? Like, can I change your mind at all?" Sends this like little blurb about like why he should pick someone else, and Ian then sends in his veto nomination or his nomination ceremony video, and I posted the house chat, and Tommy goes, "Oh, I guess not. Whatever then." Like, he breaks the tie, love. Like, you both can't be mistreating this man. He breaks the tie if it comes to it, and based on what's happening right now, I could very well see this ending in a tie.
But
So
Carl,
I'm like,
Ian doesn't have any power. Everyone should disregard him. It's never going to be relevant.
Ian's terrible.
Literally, as he's the HOH, it's amazing.
Yes, live night is indeed tomorrow at, you said it, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will have 2 streams, one for the Zoom where you can watch the challenges, in the official nomination and the veto meetings and then the eviction, all that. And we'll also have a commentary stream on StreamYard where we'll be commenting on all the shenanigans during those like 10-minute little periods where they get to communicate and be off on their own. So yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Catch Crystal and I on the commentary. I'm calling it. I've already claimed it for us.
Oh, absolutely.
Sorry, everybody else on production. You're all welcome
I'll be there
you're all
during the
welcome
10
to join
minutes.
us, but it's Crystal's and I's show, and y'all are just living part of it. So,
This is where my sequin covered garments. So,
any final things we want to talk about before we skedaddle for here on day 13? Crystal, I know you want us to talk about Danny's nominations really quickly from last
I
round.
was saying, here's if I can even remember what I was saying. You guys weren't there for AJ and I's conversation where I laid this out. But anyway, Danny's choices, I know everybody was kind of mad at it and felt like, well, why don't you just nominate these people? Let's like get over this bunker strong thing. And I was just like, no. She did exactly the right thing for her. Why do you want to kick a hornet's nest of people? Like, you got these however many people left in your bunker that it's just like, hey, I stayed bunker strong. So if you come into power, just remember that about me. Wink.
Mm-hmm.
And these bunkers are sort of an example of, I think, why the Baker's whatever we called it in our season. Baker's dozen?
The Baker's dozen.
Baker's dozen.
Sure.
She just really blacked it out of her memory. She's like, what?
Why there was
Like,
like
what alliance?
with Cold War in there, and why I was so adamant about like, don't do it yet, because that means if you don't do it yet, that means you're not nominating me. So like, it just plays to that. And unfortunately, what we have is a case of 3 Baker's dozens all having these like underlying brewing Cold Wars where they want to, but nobody wants to take the first shot because that means that allows the other people to shoot at you with abandon. So she's just trying to keep that tight, and a lot of other people are. And I know it's annoying to the outsiders, but I fully get it from their perspective. So that was it in defense of Danny's noms. See.
I didn't hate Danny's noms, but I definitely were like not high on them. Like
People
Erica was not the choice, Mary. Erica was not coming after you, love. But
She had
again,
other choices, but it made sense for her.
Yeah, bad reads galore. I mean, it's fine. It happens. It happens. Even our player of the season,
Talking about it
BBH15.
right now. Except Angelica.
Yeah, Daniela's MIA right now.
She's a
She is
writer.
visiting. She's visiting some people across the country, and that's something I forgot to talk about. Amanda has safety. Amanda has a lot of power in getting to grant safety at live night, and there are a lot of people begging for it. This is gonna be the first time multiple people are going to be begging for it. Finally, some people are actually trying to play into the safety chain here. Danny wants it, Lee wants it, Dan wants it. There are a lot of people. Ian for sure might be begging for it back. There are definitely people who.
He was like, "Hey Amanda, my birthday was 5 days ago. Do you want to give me a birthday present?"
Like,
Amanda is smart enough, and I hope for the first time she leverages this to forward herself in the game, because it has just been wasted round after round after round on like, yeah, I'll give it to this person who, I'm kind of linked to but not linked to, and hiding it. People want to hide the trade, but it's like, hide the trade, but also make some deals. Where are the deals?
Exactly. Yeah, people are too worried about either just giving to someone who everyone knows that they're already together, like Ian and Ashton, or trying to give it to someone random and like build that bridge with somebody. It's like, no, just make a deal. Like cut one, give it off.
Freaking deal. Jeez.
Because everyone's going to think it anyway, no matter what you try to explain away as the reasons for giving it to someone. People are always going to remember that you gave that person safety. Period. Mm-hmm. End of statement. Like, no one looked at Ashton sideways when Ashton saved Marcelo in the round of 19. No one looked at her sideways. They're like, oh, yeah, he gave you safety. Yeah, totally. Yeah, sure. Cool. It's fine. These people are orgers. They know. Like, it's tit for tat in this game. So, all things to look forward to as we ramp up for an exciting weekend where we send 2 of these bitches home tomorrow and finally start to move forward to maybe an end game. Because, my God. How are we still at 17 people?
It's a game. We're just at
this is no. This is definitely the flaw in the 3-day cycle. Like it does take feel like it takes a while to get going, but I think like this could be a good jumping off point. I think because after this is over, we're gonna have one more round into a Thanksgiving break, and then when we come back after Thanksgiving, it is go mode. So
we've been in the lobby. We haven't even entered the theater yet. So
yeah,
this weekend we are entering the theater. All right, we're gonna see.
And this is the last really 3-day round, because even the 3-day round that we have before Thanksgiving is Wednesday the eviction is at noon. So like really is it even a day? So it's really, this is the last 3-day round before we about to speed run this hoe. And you know, it is get in or get out at this point. So people like Jess, Davey, Tommy, you better get your fucking shit together because you've had 3 days to call people. Good luck trying to call people in 2-day rounds. Like good luck to you. Yeah, we give you the 3-day round so you can get the calls in. So when you're calling on the 2-day rounds, it's just strategy. Like the 3-day rounds are like, how's your mom doing? How's your dog? How's your kids? The 2-day rounds are like, all right, so what are we doing for this vote? What are we doing for these noms? Davey, Tommy, and Jess are still trying to fucking learn everyone's goddamn names. Like, truly, to be complete, like fucking Davey was still asking like what someone does for a living. Bitch, that's night 3 merged conversations. What you do for a living.
And if you don't do that on night 3, you best not ask on day 5, 7, 9, or 11.
Like, no, cut the shit at this point. You've lost an opportunity. Move to game. We're done. Alrighty, we've been rambling about how much we're annoyed with these people for too long and how much we love Ian. But stay in the Discord. We've got lots of updates for you. See you at 5 for OTEV, and I'll see y'all at 10:30 tomorrow morning for more tea. And until next time, stay thirsty, my friends. We'll catch you in the Discord. Bye for me and Stokes and Max and Crystal. Mess report, live night, other things to come. Candid Crystal eventually. Lots of content for you. So I expect thank yous in all of our DMs. Bye.